Welcome to Bible Prophecy Now with Rabbi Joe Bell. In this program, Rabbi Bell presents a clearer understanding of prophecies, past, present, and future. In this time of utter confusion and dread, tune in to Bible Prophecy Now with Rabbi Joe Bell for greater insights of the truth of God's Word and God's prophetic timing. Now join us and let's learn together. And now, Rabbi Joe Bell.
Hey, shalom. This is Rabbi Joe. Welcome to Bible Prophecy Now. Please get your Bibles out. We're going to get into the Word really quick today. I have a lot of prophetic message for you. I have a large prophetic message for you today. That this is very critical. We're in a very critical time in U.S. history and world history right now. We're at a crossroads. And what is the crossroads, you might ask? The crossroads is that the United States, and today's message is entitled, When Will We Go Back to War with Iran? Not if we will go back to war with Iran, not maybe we'll go back to war with Iran, not will the deal work with the devil, Iran, but when will the war with Iran restart and you know, what's going to happen. And so I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. And I'm going to go back to the beginning of how God revealed this to me. It's the reason I'm on television, is because God revealed prophecies to me 11 years ago. And I shared those prophecies with a certain, I've shared them at national conferences. But a certain gentleman who doesn't wish to be made known heard the prophecies, and he saw how old they were, and he listened to he knows who I am, he knows who the organization that I'm ordained through, he recognizes it as legitimate, and he's a Christian man. He's a long time, he's been in this area for 35 years, going to church here, very prominent leader of his denomination, and he saw the materials that I gave him and couldn't argue that they were 11 years old, and he put me on. God told him, put Joe Bell on TV, and so he did. He obeyed God, and he liked it so much that he added a second night. So we're on two nights, Tuesday nights at 8. And we're on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Tuesday nights at 8 and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. So you can watch on YouTube. You can go back and watch previous shows as the screen's telling you if you've missed some. So I would encourage you to go back to the original show or 2 or 3 back in May a year ago and see what I was saying a year ago. A lot of it's come to pass. The things that I said. Go back on YouTube right there and check out those shows. You'll see the things that I spoke to you prophetically, much of it has come to pass. And I'm here today to try to start telling you what's coming next. Okay, so let's get into the Word. Now, I had been opening my Bible to Daniel chapter 8 regularly for a year or more. And Daniel's vision in this portion, Daniel chapter 8 was the chapter that God had me opening to for a year. Every time I opened the Bible, I opened to Daniel chapter 8, and so for a year it was marinating in my spirit, and I had asked the Lord for understanding and discernment. Finally, after many months, the revelation came. So in this teaching, I'm going to examine the prophecy of Daniel 8. I believe the vision that Daniel, and I want to just preface this by saying, don't teach prophecy, teachers, pastors. If you don't have a revelation, you're playing with fire because God's going to judge you. And I'll say this to husbands. Treat your wives as precious jewels because they're God's daughters and they're on loan to you. Just as your children are on loan to you for a season, but then you're going to have to give them back to God and you're going to be judged for how you raised your kids. Did you beat them? Did you lock them in closets? Did you feed them? Or did you nurture them and help them become upstanding citizens? Did you take care of your wife? Did you do your best to provide for her husbands? Did you love her and cherish her as the Bible commands us to? Or did you abuse her? Did you ever, God forbid, hit your wife or make her feel scared? God's going to judge us for those things, brothers. And anyway, so going back to the word here, I digressed a little, but finally, after many months of reading in Daniel 8, God revealed, he gave me like a download of a message, and the vision, it reveals of Daniel 8 of an escalating war against Islamic terror. And it predicts a ruler from the West will destroy Iran's power in Daniel 8, and this ruler from the West will destroy Iran's power and break the back of Islamic jihadists such as ISIS. The vision of Daniel chapter 8 that Daniel had also indicates a period of great glory for the Western nation, which I believe is America. Obviously, well, since I wrote this, we found out the Western nation, that would attack Iran is America. So I predicted 11 years ago that America would be that nation. Anyhow, we know it is. So after the prophecy of the destruction of Iran comes to pass, it will be a period of great glory for America. Unfortunately, according to the prophecy, the Western nation, which is America, according to the prophecy, after the period of great glory, and could you see President Trump magnifying himself? I mean, he loves to, talk about his successes, and some might say boast, whatever. Anyway, he's certainly a character. I'll say that. I'm trying not to be political here. I'm just saying that he's a character. He's an interesting man. He's one of a kind, Donald Trump. So anyway, but after the victory of winning Iran, something is going to happen to America, and America is going to have a time of trouble. And I'm going to talk more about it. So let's go on. So the vision of that Daniel has also indicates, as I said, a period of great glory for America to be followed by a great fall, ending in the dividing up of this country, the United States, into 4 weaker nations. And you can actually already see that happening. America is dividing up where people are moving, wealthy people with money are leaving blue states. They're going to red states because blue states are raising taxes. There's many things they're not doing. Many would argue that, they cut the water off in California and allowed the Palisades, Pacific Palisades, the houses, I think it was 12 or 1,300 homes to burn. There was no water in the reservoirs. They were actually sending fresh water, and you can look this up, they were sending fresh water out to sea instead of filling the reservoirs. And it all had to do with protecting some fish, some kind of fish that they were trying to, protect the species. And they were, instead of protecting the people, they were worried about a fish. Anyway, and that's why there's a guy that's running for mayor of Los Angeles, and he's doing pretty well. We'll see if he wins or not. But anyhow, so again, not to get political here, but let's read on. So you can see trouble in blue states, Michigan, People are leaving. New York, people are leaving. Mamdani's raising taxes. They're calling for a recall election. Why did they vote for him in the first place? Makes no sense at all. But they did. They believed his promises. Friends, nothing is for free. Nothing is free. You have to work if you want to be successful. You have to work, you have to take risks, and you have to invest. You have to invest. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You have to plant, you have to sow, you have to invest. Sowing means to invest. You're investing seed into something and you hope for a return. Like if it's a garden, you're hoping for cucumbers or tomatoes or squash or corn, okay? So let's go on. So the vision of chapter 8 indicates a period of great glory for America to be followed by a great fall, ending in the dividing up of the United States into 4 weaker nations. Furthermore, there is a revelation concerning the return of the Jewish people to Israel from the nations, particularly the Americas. That's not hard to see happening because anti-Semitism is rising. Probably, I don't have the percentage, but a year ago it was 300%. 9 out of 10 physical assaults on hate crimes are against Jewish people. 9 out of 10, I believe. It's a huge number of violent assaults are against Jewish people in America right now. My Jewish people, many of us feel like it's 1938 Nazi Germany, where Jews are being persecuted, and thank God, not even here in the South. My sons grew up. I'm Jewish, and my sons grew up in Bristol, Tennessee, and they never experienced anti-Semitism or racism. One of my sons was a football star, and I believe he's going to serve his country. He's going today to take a physical, and I'll tell you more about that another time. But now my older son tells me that he's experiencing anti-Semitism, and people that he thought were his friends have turned against him. I know I've experienced anti-Semitism, and somebody has vandalized my synagogue twice in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and they pulled out a power cord, and we have an RV on the premises, and they pulled the power cord out, and they smashed it. They destroyed it on Saturday when we were having services, and they haven't bothered us. They haven't come into the synagogue. I think these are just hooligans, and they drove their motorbikes into the parking lot, and they pulled out the power cord and crushed it. And I went to pick it up, a 50 amp, 240 volt, and I got electrocuted Saturday. I was within a nanosecond of dying. If my heartbeat had been at the top of the rhythm, it had been at the top, I would have left this world and been in the next world instantaneously. But thank God it wasn't my time to go. So praise the Lord. So let's go on. So the vision of chapter 8 also indicates, as I said, a period of great glory. We're going to win the war. The war is coming back. You cannot make. I'm not even going to discuss it. War. We are going back to war with Iran. Iran is playing games with us. They will not get rid of their nuclear uranium. Their enriched uranium. They will not stop messing with the Straits of Hormuz. They will not stop pirating. They will not stop attacking ships and sinking them. They will not stop charging tolls. They will lie and lie and lie. And why do they do that? Because first of all, they know that President Trump only has 4 years. So they've been around for 5,000 years or 6,000 years, at least 5 or 6,000 years. And they can wait. They're used to waiting long periods of time. So they'll wait Donald Trump out, and they'll do anything they can to wait for the midterm elections. Hopefully they'll get some, they're hoping that Congress will turn blue and that the Democrats will take over and that Trump will be a lame duck and won't be able to do war. There'll be not take away funding, that the Democrats will defund war or with Iran, or I don't know if you want to call it war, fighting Iran, whatever. That's what they're hoping. China's the same thing. China's waiting out Donald Trump. They probably won't attack Taiwan until Trump is gone, but they're going to attack Taiwan. Sure as sugar. You can bet the Chinese are going to invade Taiwan just like they invaded Hong Kong, but they're going to wait for a weak president, a president like a Joe Biden or whoever, whatever puppet they think America will put in office after Trump, because they're going to, try to make Trump drag this out. And if they drag this out, gas prices will stay high, inflation will stay up, and there's another problem America has besides the division between Republicans and Democrats. Besides that division between the two Americas, there's two Americas. There's a LGBTQ, transgender, open borders America, and then there's conservative, constitution-loving, patriotic, wave the flag, celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and there's two Americas here today that we're living in, and people are leaving those blue states. Why do they want immigrants to come? Why are they looking for immigrants to come down, come into this country? Why do they want to give Somalis and people from Central America, from Guatemala, from Mexico, Honduras, and so forth? Why do they want to let them in and let them vote without an ID? Because they can give them free stuff, like free health care. I think in California they're offering free teeth for drug addicts who've destroyed their teeth. They're offering free breast implants for immigrants. What is that all about? Where's the money coming from? It's coming from tax money. And it's all about votes. They're trying to bring in these immigrants to get votes so that they can beat the Republicans at the ballot box. All right, that's all it's about. They don't give a cookie about these people. They just want their votes, and they'll give them free stuff, put them in a hotel, give them a SNAP card or whatever, food, just so they can get their vote. All right, let's go on. But America's already dividing, and the prophecy says America will be divided, or the country that fights Iran in the end times will be divided into 4 weaker nations. You can already see it happening. Okay, so furthermore, there's a revelation concerning the return of the Jewish people to Israel from the nations, particularly the Americas, in massive numbers. And I've been saying this for 25 years, that there's a time coming because of antisemitism, because of the problems in America, because of economic hardship, that many, mostly Messianic Jews and Christians who have ears to hear, just like the Gentiles, if you read who came out of Egypt with Moses. By the way, Moses was a prophet. In Deuteronomy 18:18, it says God will raise up a prophet like Moses, and you must listen to him, and he will speak only the words of his Father. And that's what Jesus came and said, I only speak the words of my Father. He said it numerous times. You can look it up. Jesus was the prophet that Moses was talking about, and that God said he would raise up a prophet like Moses. Well, that means if Moses is a prophet, friends, doesn't that make the Old Testament, the 5 books of Moses, prophecy? If Moses was a prophet, and I believe he's the greatest prophet of all next to Jesus, Moses, he's up on the mountain with Elijah on the Mount of Transfiguration. It was Moses and Elijah I believe they're the 2 witnesses. Moses and Elijah are the 2 witnesses. Now, will they actually be the 2 witnesses? No, I believe there are 2 people on this earth that will walk in the power and spirit of Elijah and Moses and will act as the 2 witnesses. possible Moses and Elijah will come back down from heaven and be the two witnesses. But the fact is, they're already gone to be with the Lord, and these witnesses in Revelation are killed. And so how can you kill somebody that's already been killed? So that leads me to believe it's two people that are on the earth today that are going to be, the two witnesses. And so anyway, let's go on from there. So America's divided. Now, another reason America is, there's going to be a great fall after the great period of glory. There's going to be a great fall, and this is what the Iranians and the Russians and China are doing by prolonging this blocking the Straits of Hormuz. It's keeping gas prices elevated. It's causing inflation. Inflation. We owe $40 trillion in debt. Imagine if you have a credit card. Those of you who have credit cards, you know that if you get too much debt, if let's say you can't only pay your credit card balance off and you have to pay a monthly payment, but let's say your monthly payment is $200 and you can only pay $150, then you default. And that's where America's at with our national credit card. We owe $40 trillion in debt. And when the interest rates go up, which is what's happening, interest rates have been going up, then we are, I'm not going to get too technical with you. I'm just going to say, because there's bonds involved and treasury bills, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to say, if we get to a point where we cannot pay the interest on our debt, on our credit card as a country, then the dollar will collapse. And if the dollar collapses, then all heck is going to break loose. If the dollar collapses, programs like SNAP, programs like Social Security, Medicare, all these things are going to go down. In fact, Daniel 8, and this is not me talking, this is what the prophecy says. It says two things that I'm going to say. I'm going to read about them, but Iran is going to be creamed. I mean, the President Trump's military is going to utterly destroy the regime. We have not finished. We have been searching for targets. We have been doing intelligence these last 5 or 6 weeks since the war. Israel has been doing intelligence. We probably know where the one-legged gay Ayatollah is. You know, as Jesse Waters says, you know, we probably know where he is. We know where the leaders are. We're watching them. We're watching everything that's going on, and we're preparing targets for war, for military action. And I guarantee you it's coming. I don't know if it's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, but Donald Trump's not going to wait forever. Iran must give back that uranium. Get rid of it. Give it back. Give it to the United States. No nuclear weapons for Iran. That's Donald Trump's red line. He's not going to wait 3 years. All right? That's the good news. The bad news is what happens to America after that. And so let me read a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about that. So in the vision, after the period of great glory, it says in the vision of Daniel 8 that Daniel has, the country that fights Iran, which we now know to be the United States, will be divided up into 4 weaker nations. And then furthermore, there's a revelation concerning the return of the Jewish people to Israel, as I talked about, from the nations, particularly the Americas, in massive numbers. Finally, this incredible vision foretells details of the rise of the Antichrist, the dragon, and the false prophet. When you read this message, you'll be amazed at where we may be on God's prophetic time clock. No man knows the day or the hour of the coming of Jesus, and I'm not trying to tell you when Jesus is coming back. That's not what this is about. This is about America and what's going to happen to America. If America falls, brothers and sisters, that does not mean that Jesus is coming back. America is simply a country like any other country. Greece fell, Rome fell, Persia fell, all the great empire, Babylon fell, all the great empires of the world have fallen except for China. And the question, even China fell to communism. And so the question is, Nazi Germany fell. So the question is, but that didn't bring Jesus back. And if America falls, doesn't necessarily mean that Jesus is coming back. And I'm not giving you a time, but I will say this. America is the last good nation on the earth. Besides Israel, America is the last strong nation that is acting for the good of mankind and stopping forces of evil around the world. And think about it. What would the world look like without America? What would, if China and Russia were ruling the world and Iran, we would be under terrorism. Islam is trying to take over the world, and I'll talk about that. But I'm not, so let's go on. I'm not talking about the return of Jesus. So let's talk about the coming great war. Again, the third war. We've already had two wars with Iran. Now we're going for a third one. In Daniel chapter 8, the prophet has a vision of himself being in ancient Persia, and Daniel sees a ram with two horns standing by the Ulai Canal. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to read this for the next show, but I want to tell you about a couple things. Yes, America's going to fall, and it's according to prophecy. It's read Daniel 8. And if you don't think that Daniel's talking about the end time, read verse 17 and verse 19, where the angel Gabriel tells Daniel that this is for the end time. This is for the La'et Ketz in Hebrew, means the very end of time. But I'll get into it in the next show. But in this, we're having a prophecy conference, and if you go to forzionsake.conference, forzionsake.conference.com, forzionsake.conference.com. Sign up. It's June 12th and 13th at Meadowview. It's only $50. We're having Jonathan Kahn, the greatest prophetic voice in the world today. We're having Marty Goetz, Rabbi Jonathan Bernis from he's on TBN and other stations. Come sign up for the prophecy conference. And then thank you for those of you who signed up and got my proposal statement. Time's out. I'll see you next week. Shalom.
You've been watching Bible Prophecy Now with Rabbi Joe Bell. Please join us next week at this same time and place for more regarding today's world events and prophecy. To contact Rabbi Bell, please go to www.forzionsake.org. Rabbi Bell's mailing address is For Zion's Sake Ministries, P.O. Box 1486, Bristol, Tennessee 37620. Until next week, Shalom.